handled the three most iconic Lambos of the 20th century. Now it's time to step into the third millennium.
Rattling for me as a human. And what it ultimately came to was that this is what I dreamed about doing my entire life. And if I didn't have the courage to follow through with this, then I'm just never going to know what my life could have been, you know? And so I'd always dreamt of this opportunity to be on a spectacle like Evel Knievel, you know? That's what I really dreamt of as a kid. I wanted to have an opportunity to do world-stopping stunt where the world's watching and be able to push through it. And now I had that opportunity. I had to decide whether I was going to let fear stop me, because a lot of the people involved with the production were like, this is so crazy, we can't believe you're doing it. And they would like reassure me, there's no one here from our department that's putting pressure on you. If you don't want to do this, we totally get it. You don't have to do this. And I was like, no, I actually have to do this to answer my own question. And so that's what I realized through all my digging, was that this is more of like a question of myself. And now it's time for me to figure out if it's meant to be or not. And I had total faith and total belief that if it's meant to be, it'll be. And if it wasn't, well, then that was just how my life was meant to go. And I had total peace with that, you know. So I was really calm before I did the jump, knowing that, I think the practical side of my head I had to turn off. So the fear side of things, I had to just stop listening to it because it was driving me insane. And I was sick before, literally vomited, thinking about that kind of stuff. So eventually I got to the point where my own psychosis was making me physically sick. So I had to just turn that off. So that made me that's where the meditating came in, because I had to turn my mind off. And it's so freeing to just not have this internal voice anymore, because I had it going on my whole life, and now I don't have it anymore. But it took me a long time to quiet my mind. It's literally something you have to work at very hard. And then obviously when I landed and it pulled off, I was like, well, it was meant to be, And it's made. I think that was a prerequisite for my mentality, because then when I got on the motorcycle in the water, and I'm out at Chopu and the waves are 20-foot.
The Hurucan's design is based on the hexagonal shapes of the carbon atom, fused with the unmistakable flavor of Lamborghini. Sensual, streamlined, and powerful, the Hurucan embodies Lamborghini's ascent to new heights. Refined and modern as always.
And I'm on a dirt bike in the water, I'm thinking, oh man, this is a stupid idea. And when that wave crashed down in front of me, that was the heaviest moment of my life. And it was 10 times, and even when I jumped the Corinth Canal, the fear of facing to jump the canal was worse than in Vegas. So Vegas was really, and then the jumps before, but everything's been a prerequisite to get me to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And whatever you do, whatever skill you want to harness, is when you sharpen a knife, you see it get sharper. And so it's nice to have a sharp knife.
It's very impressive. I will say, whenever I'm sat at the start line in my drift car about to compete, I'm like, I know how to do this. I know, you know what you're doing. You know which gears you're going in. And then just like you said, that little voice yeah, but what if you spin? What if you don't downshift at that point? And I'm like, shut up, it's fine. Everything's gonna be totally fine. You're famous for pushing boundaries and setting new records. So how are you refining your bikes to help you achieve these?
That's a tough question. I'm working towards my own goals. I think if I was invincible and I could be young forever, I'd probably still be trying to jump further distance records with the bike the way it is. But for me, there's one goal left for me, and that's all I'm working on. So I'm not here to replicate nothing, to do shows around the world. I think those days for me are gone. I just want to do my mark.
Hold on to your seat. Chapter 4, Lambo sets the trends.
Masterpiece, right? That's all I'm working on, is my masterpiece, and then I'm done. So I'm not really in it for the long haul, but I think manufacturers are doing a great job. The bikes are getting better every year. Obviously, we are on the brink of the electric era, and that's going to change the game for everyone, whether they like it or not. But I think the exciting side of it is the electric side of it brings a lot more power. It's instant, and the characteristics of the bike become a lot different. So we're already seeing guys like Patrick Evans rides his bike, and when he does a whip, he's able to get on angles that we've never seen before.
Because of the weight, maybe, of the battery, or?
It's because there's less gyro with the engine, so it allows the bike to roll quicker. And then because there's no gearbox, then you're able to hit the throttle, and it does the full rotation of the back wheel, so that when you snap the throttle, you don't have to go through the gears to get the maximum RPM out of the back wheel. So with the twist of the throttle, that back wheel goes from stop to wide open in fifth gear in a few seconds in the electric version. So when you're able to whip the bike upside down, that inertia that the back wheel creates instantly creates that inertia. So you're able to kind of use that to twist you back into shape quickly. So Patrick's been able to learn better than anyone else so far to get his bike upside down and use that electric inertia that he's created from the rear wheel to set him straight again. So that's changing the game, and I think the incorporation of electric bikes is going to just make differences. But for what I've done, distance jumping, jumping on buildings, stuff like that, I don't know, I wanted to raise the bar to a certain height and then step out, and I feel like I've done that for the most part, and there's just one more masterpiece to hang on the wall, and then I'm going to follow my kids around and do what they want to do. So it's, but, I just hope to be able to be an ambassador and support these other kids coming up. Part of my vision is to be able to support the Robbie Madisons of the future.
Yeah.
And I don't really want it to be my kids, but it seems like they have their own ideas in mind, so I might be supporting them. But I just want to support athletes and help them create these moments that I've been lucky enough to have. The Rebel's been so great to me, giving me these platforms to have these show-stopping moments. And so I want to be an advocate for that and try and help people create those scenarios for themselves.
Well, we talked a lot about dreams during our chat. Let's talk about dream vehicles. Now, my dream vehicle is a 66 Chevy Nova with a big rock in it. You know, I would love to be able to drive that.
Lamborghini that took the 21st century by storm.